Yo, what's going down, Green Screen Entertainment fans? Your homie Jay Green back right now with my review, my thoughts, and my feelings on the brand new Paul Thomas Anderson One Battle After Another. Now, the term masterpiece, best movie in the last 10 years, ish like this is getting thrown around quite a bit when it comes to this film. Do I feel like that is hyperbole? Do I feel like that is an overestimation of what this movie is? Fuck no. This movie was amazing, y'all. Now, I will say this real quick. A movie that you consider to be a masterpiece does not necessarily mean that it is better than another film, or another film can't also be a masterpiece, a work of art, the best thing that you've ever seen. All movies hit us different. There's objective and subjective reasons why you might feel this movie over here or that movie over there is the best of this time, right? And there could be another movie that comes out next month that we feel is the best in the last 10 years or is a masterpiece or whatever. I say all that to just simply say this, that Paul Thomas Anderson, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Sean Penn, Teyana Taylor, Chase Infinity, Tony Goldwyn, and goddamn Leonardo DiCaprio kill this mother effing movie. Now, before I get into anything with this film, just understand I am not going to give y'all one goddamn spoiler, so don't trip. This movie is basically about Leonardo DiCaprio, Teyana Taylor, madly in love, working with this revolutionary group called the French 75, and they doing all types of ill-ish. I'm talking about robbing banks, blowing up detention centers, setting immigrant prisoners free at the border. And at some point in time during this revolution of theirs, they're being hunted by Sean Penn's character, this crazy lunatic general type dude who's out for blood by any means necessary. He ends up catching some of the team. Because of this and a few other situations that play out, the team has to disperse. They get fake names, identities, all that type of swag, and they go off on their own merry way. They got some trackers, they got some code words and things like that, so they can eventually get in touch should they need to. And they will need to, because of course, years later, Sean Penn's character comes up out the dust, still gunning for them and some of the members and family members. That's all I'm going to tell you in regards to the plot. Hence, it is one battle after another in trying to get away from this knucklehead. Now, why would I say that this movie does actually have a right to be in the conversation of masterpiece and greatest film in the past 10 years? Because for me personally, I don't remember what the runtime of the film is. Let me look it up real quick. God damn, this movie is 2 hours and 41 minutes. Now, I ain't gonna front on y'all. I saw this Friday night at 7 o'clock after a long ass day of work. I didn't miss a beat. None of this movie to me drug at all. I feel like the pacing was on point, the character development was on point, the dialogue was fun, creative, and it was suspenseful at times. So I was on board throughout all of that time frame. And then because of the twists and turns that are built into the story overall, kind of breathe new life into the film. So as soon as there could have potentially been an opportunity for it to start to slow down a bit, it picks right back up because of some information that you just got. But that information doesn't feel forced, like they're just trying to throw something in there to keep you on the edge of your seat. It feels all relative to the overarching story that we're being told. So again, story points, character points, twists and turns, everything fit so nice with pacing that was on point as well. I thought this movie was amazing in that regard. Now let's talk about the characters for a second. In the beginning of this movie, we're meeting up with the French 75. And from Teyana Taylor to Leonardo DiCaprio to Wood Harris to Regina Hall to all of these people that are in this group, they all feel real, grounded, tangible, but extremely unique to themselves. There's no question in my mind as I'm watching these people that they are really trying to do this ish and that they believe everything that they're doing is the right thing to do. And sometimes in movies, you have characters that just feel like they're there to be that character, to fill that space or that void. Maybe they're there to be the person that gets caught. Maybe they're there to be the person that takes it too far, right? But none of the characters here feel like that. There's characters that do take it too far. Yes, this is true. There's characters there that are there to get caught, in a sense. This is true. However, each one of them feels real to the story. And when certain things jump off for this person over there or that person over there, you kind of feel it. You're like, oh, snap. In fact, there is something that happens to one of the characters. And when it happens, I know me and the people that was in the row with me were like, oh, shit. Didn't expect that. And I love that about this movie, where there's things that you just don't expect to happen in the way that they do. So not only was there some twists and turns that make you be like, oh shit, but there was things that happened to characters that wasn't a twist and turn. It was just the fate that probably would have really happened in that scenario or in that situation. And that was executed hella good. And as you would expect, Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro, two A-list actors that are always going to be on their A game no matter what they are doing. And this is no different. I'm going to get to Leonardo in a minute, but Benicio del Toro, killing it. He's not in this movie a lot, but you love him in this film. Everything that he does is fly. It's lightweight funny, but at the same time, he holds a gravitas to himself in this movie. And so when he's making moves and doing things, the movie doesn't explain this guy's real backstory. You know that he's, the sensei, you dig? But that's all you really know. You can assume maybe what he's really doing on the back end of this sensei gig, but the movie doesn't tell you that necessarily. So watching him make moves during this film, you're kind of wondering, like, how deep is this guy's reach? What is he really capable of? And that was hella fun. I want to shine light on Regina Hall. She kills it. She has evolved so much since when I first seen her playing Brenda. You know who I'm talking about. Brenda.
That ain't no man. Damn. Mind. I know you better get out of my face. Out of my face. Out of my face.
In this movie, when she has a job to do and that job leads her to an unsafe environment, conflict, choices to make, you feel every bit of that weighing on her chest and on her shoulders. She was great. Chase Infinity playing Willa, she was phenomenal as well. I loved every portion of the movie with her. And I will say this, because we understand that the French 75, they have to disperse and they got ways of communicating with each other. What I love that Paul Thomas Anderson did with the writing and the direction, he clearly states up front that Willa understands and knows that one day this whole situation might jump off. So when she's met with the fact that, look, here we are, we gotta run, we can't be here no more, she understands it's real. She don't question that shit for a minute. This right here is a note that, yes, I'm gonna say it, Disney, Ryan Coogler, Kevin Feige, and the chick that played Riri Williams should take. Because in Black Panther 2, when Shuri and the Dora Milaje show up talking about, yo, here's the deal, you need to come with us, she's putting up a huge fight as if she's never heard of anything that they talking about. Like, she don't need to go with them. Like, they wouldn't be there if it was that serious. And I hated that in that movie, right? That was just a dumb decision. This chick is supposed to be super smart. And in this movie, it's very simple. Dad told you what was going down. You believe your father. So when the situation takes place, you dip immediately. And I love that when she has that moment in this movie to realize, this is really happening. This is really going down. You can see that emotion behind her eyes, but her actions showcase she knows she needs to move. Phenomenal. She did great. Now, let's not bury the lead for too long. Why is this movie a masterpiece? Let's go over Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Teyana Taylor. So I'm gonna speak on Teyana Taylor first. She was in a movie a little while back called Straw with Taraji P, directed by Tyler Perry. Here she is right now working alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and Paul Thomas Anderson. And she was phenomenal in this movie. Every bit of what we know Teyana Taylor to be, as far as her swag and her intensity, you can see on screen. But at the same time, every bit of her character, you can also feel, and it felt real. And that's not easy to do. It's not easy to feel kind of like yourself and still portray a character that you're playing. But I think that Teyana Taylor was the perfect casting for this particular character. And it also showcases the ability for Paul Thomas Anderson to pull performances out of his actors because, and I mentioned the movie Straw, directed by Tyler Perry, she was terrible in that film. I didn't believe her as the detective that she was playing at all. And I'd done a review for a Tiana Taylor film that came out a while back. If I'm not mistaken, it was called 1001, and she was amazing in that movie. So the fact that she was able to act her ass off in 1001, stand up with Leonardo DiCaprio, extremely believable, intense, and captivating on screen in this with Paul Thomas Anderson directing, and then be just garbage in the Tyler Perry film, showcases one, she got talent for sure, but two, Tyler Perry is a terrible director. I'm sorry. Anyway, I digress. Point is, Tiana Taylor killed it in this movie. She was holding her own weight next to Leonardo DiCaprio, and that was a dope thing to see. Also, another thing that I think is great about this film is the look, the vibes, and the texture of it. This film looks like it was shot way back in the day, right? The way that the shadows are so crushed at certain times, the way that the highlights are blown out at certain times, makes you feel like you're in the movie, makes you feel like this is really jumping off. So obviously, Paul Thomas Anderson knows what the hell he's doing behind the camera, but as far as the cinematography, this movie was beautiful. The score of this movie is also interesting. I saw a movie about a month or two ago called Highest to Lowest, and it was not that good. The score for that movie was an interesting score too. It had this weird jazzy type, drum beat type sound to it, and it did not work at all. This movie at times has a score that you might hear in a Tom Cruise film like The Firm or The Manchurian Candidate, something like that, right? Where it seems very jazzy almost, a lot of, drum, bongo type, I don't even know what. But based on the way that it's shot, based on the acting caliber at the time, what's going on, the tracking shots and all that, it just fits. And then it might flip to something that fits a bit more with a car chase or the FBI or the police, doing a raid on this particular building. So the way that they were able to blend the sounds together so they feel old school and a bit new school mixed in with the beautiful cinematography. Again, from top to bottom, this movie is so good. Now, let me talk about Leo. Is this man not a GOAT? I challenge any one of y'all out there to tell me he ain't, okay? There is not one film that I've ever seen Leonardo DiCaprio in that he wasn't bringing GOAT level status. In this movie, he is so believable as this high-strung, revolutionary, hella passionate, short-tempered individual who will do anything for the ones that he loves, mainly his daughter. And I loved every minute of him in this film, as I do every film, but in this film in particular, because I feel like he's so different from other characters that I've seen him play. That's the one thing I'll say. There are a ton of phenomenal actors out there who deserve all the love and the accolades that they get. But for me personally, I kind of grew up with Leonardo DiCaprio, so I'm a little bit biased, I ain't gonna lie. But I will say this, that I feel while those other actors are really, really great, Leonardo DiCaprio is one of those types of actors where I don't see him in all of his roles. I can watch Sam Jackson, I can watch Denzel, I can watch Christian Bale, I can watch, you name it. And I don't necessarily see them, but I still see them. And I still see that steady type of mannerism or the way that they move, the way that they sound, their classic laugh, or the way that they look at someone, or how charming they may or may not be in all of their characters. With Leo, I feel like his shit's super different. Super different. And I love that. This is a brand new character. I've never seen him play. And I was drawn in from the beginning to the very damn end. So between the direction and the storytelling of Paul Thomas Anderson, the dialogue and all how that's all interesting, and Leonardo DiCaprio's acting ability, the chemistry that he had with Tiana Taylor, his daughter, and their chemistry and interactions, and the interactions he has with her and her friends. Oh my God. That scene that you see in the trailer where her friends pull up, hilarious. I was on my ass, okay? All of those things, not to mention the twists and turns for this movie. All I'm gonna say is that this movie is very contemporary in the sense that we see a lot of stuff jumping off on the news. There's a lot of thought processes that people on the left have, and there's a lot of thought processes that people have on the right. And you put those thought processes at the highest level of insanity, at the highest level of creativity, at the highest level of conspiracy. And there's touches of that in this movie. I'm not going to tell you nothing of what it actually is, but just imagine on either side of the fence, those high conspiracy level thoughts, touches in this movie. And it was so good. And I had no idea that that type of thing was going to be a thing in this film. And the way it plays out, chef's kiss, mwah, so good, so dope. So the overall question, is this movie a masterpiece? You goddamn right it is. Is this movie the best in the past 10 years? I don't know, but it's so good. It was so much fun. On the edge of my seat, loved it. I can't speak highly enough about it. I hope I gave you a little bit of information to maybe want to go check this movie out. If you've seen it, comment below. Let me know what you thought about this movie. Are you interested in seeing this movie? Because you should be. Yo, I thought this movie was effing great. Get out to the theater, support this film. I think you're going to enjoy it. Your homie, Jay Green, I'm out.